I just entered a Gundam tournament with a deck that is mostly GDO1 plus a few cheap GDO2 upgrades. Why? Because the stock for the new set has been impossible to find and expensive cards are insanely overpriced. And honestly, I'm not even sure if you need them. The meta's been pretty terrifying, with green-white Ram getting some huge upgrades and introducing a new strong archetype like blue-white Epion. So the mission is simple. Can you win an event using mostly old cards with a few budget upgrades? Here's what happened. Round 1 I played against a green-white Ramp, which was actually a really great matchup for me. We both built some huge blocker walls and eventually I chipped away at his wall using my Unicorn Destroy mode to win the game from there. Nice. A clean start. Round 2 was a blue-white Academy deck, which is a deck that you don't really see that often. The game went back and forth for a while, but once my opponent started running low on resources, I went super wide with double Corsica bases, generating 4 Leo tokens, and that was just way too much for them to handle. Round 3 was against another green-white Ramp player, and this one was a little bit scary, as my opponent played a Wing Gundam behind multiple blockers, and honestly I had a little bit of a PTSD moment from my previous matches, but this time I had links in my hand and managed to deal with the Wing Gundam before it got out of control. Okay, we're 3-0 going into the finals, and it's against blue-white Epion, which was one of the most hyped new archetypes of GDO2. This is a pretty important match as we're still trying to figure out what's the best way to play blue-white, and this finals will help determine if we need the new GDO2 cards to win or if the old GDO1 cards are good enough. Plus, it's the finals. We're playing for the exclusive store winner pack, so the stakes are pretty high. We both start off the game by setting up our blockers, but my opponent was able to play Gundam Amuro on curve, which was super strong. I couldn't answer it immediately because my hand was super awkward, and the Gundam Amuro link just stuck around for way too long and got way too much value. I finally cleared the Gundam Amuro link, so I'm good, right? Nope. My opponent then chains 3 Freedom Gundams back to back to back, with Amuros clearing my board and taking the match. Boo. It was a tough loss, but I wasn't fully convinced that GDO2 was the reason that he won. First of all, my opponent never actually played the Epion. He won using mostly GDO1 cards like Gundam Amuro and Freedom Gundam. Also, my hand was super awkward, which let the Gundam Amuro link get way too much value. What if I just got really unlucky? Well, there's only one way to find out. Run it back at locals number 2. Same deck, same goal. Round 1 we got a freebie against green-white. They bricked pretty hard with multiple bases and pilots in hand. Round 2 was a rematch against the same blue-white Epion player who won the last locals. Is he gonna beat me the second time? Oh hell nah. This time things went completely different. My opponent had the Gundam Amuro on curve again, but this time I was able to shut down early. And without the triple Freedom Gundams back to back to back, I was able to stabilize really quickly and took over the game from there. Whew. Feels good. Round 3 was another clean win against green-white, and we're back in the finals. And again, we're against another blue-white Epion player. This is actually really funny because he was playing blue-white Epion because in the last locals, the blue-white Epion player won. So maybe he could have been playing blue-white unicorns if I won. Who knows? The game started and we both built up our blockers again, and sure enough, he hits Gundam Amuro link on curve again. Just seems like they always have it. But this time, my hand was pretty nutty, and I had the links to deal with his Gundam Amuro right away. I was able to stabilize, I drew a bunch of cards, and eventually my opponent ran out of gas, and that's when I went super wide and pushed for a game. Sheesh. Back-to-back finals appearances, and this time we finished the job. And a huge win for my winner pack, which was my first one of the season. Across both events, we were 1-0 against Blue-White Academy, 4-0 against Green-White Ramp, and 2-1 against Blue-White Epion. So overall, I had a positive win rate against the new decks, and I didn't even have the new expensive cards. It turns out you can still compete using GDO1, plus some smart budget options like Rick DS. I was super happy with how the list feels. It's one of my favorite ways to play the deck. It's super fun, it draws a lot of cards, and has a lot of strong matchups into blue-white and green-white decks. Brick Diaz was also super amazing. It was way better than the Grays Commander that I was playing before. The 3 HP really makes a difference. I definitely got really lucky with avoiding blue-green aggro, as that matchup is pretty sketchy, but otherwise this deck list feels really good. Honestly, I thought I was going to get crushed running mostly GDO1 cards. I thought I was going to get power crept, but after playing in these 2 locals, what I learned was you don't need every new shiny card to win, and you just need to know your deck inside and out, play well, and maybe draw one less awkward pilot, and you should be fine. If you're sticking with your GDO1 decks, let me know how they've been treating you guys. I'm curious to see what everyone else has been cooking with.